Don't kill your neighbor's dog. Good afternoon, everybody. Got a PSA, public service announcement for everyone, and that's don't kill your neighbor's dogs. That's going to cause issues, and it's just not the right thing to do. And I didn't realize what kind of problem this was. So I know that the first I heard about this was like, I don't know, 20 years ago. One of my friends was living in an apartment and had a small dog, and then another dog in another apartment got out and just killed the dog in front of the kids. That's terrible. But that was a dog, so it was still bad. Scarring for life. And then my own house, before I bought it, the people that lived here before me had a small dog that went after another dog in the front yard, and the dog got killed. And I don't know if that's the reason why they moved, but that's the other time I heard about it. And then coming across the news today, and I read about this situation in Idaho, and I put it on the screen for you, and it just says Idaho couple's small dog allegedly killed by a neighbor with a shotgun, and there's a picture of the little dog, I think, and so the interesting story about this is a lot of their neighbors farm on dozens of acres, and the dogs will roam right outside the few acres the family lives on. In this instance, Ruby was on the neighbor's property, staring at the neighbor and barking. After hearing the gunshot, the neighbor ran outside and called for the dog, and then turns out the dog, was shot by the neighbor. They said they called the police, and they said that the dog was on his property, so that's that. They told me if I didn't keep my dogs on property, that the guy could call the cops on me and give me tickets, which I guess makes sense, but that's just not the outcome I guess I thought. So there's that. And so I say, well, that's just one story. That's just one situation. That's not indicative of the world in which we live. And so then I looked online, and then I have this one here. Crestwood, close to home, man accused of stabbing neighbor's dog to death. I said, okay, well, that's not good. And then I saw this one here, Bossier City man arrested for killing neighbor's dog with a machete. That's in Louisiana. So I don't know that there's a dog killing epidemic, but I mean, if you want to be good neighbors with somebody, it's probably best you not kill their dog. So I wanted to go through it a little bit. I have some notes, I have some thoughts, and to me, it's heartbreaking. I don't really want any animal to be killed. And so in the Idaho story, the dog was on the neighbor's property. In the Crestwood story, the dog wanders on the neighbor's property. The neighbor stabs it to death with a knife. And there were no charges in the first one, but there were charges in the second one. And the third story, the guy jumps the fence, and the dog's just minding his own business in his own backyard. The guy jumps the fence and murders it with a machete. And that neighbor gets charged with trespassing and cruelty to animals. And so here's my thinking. It's not okay to kill dogs when they aren't threatening your life. I think there should be a law against this sort of thing. I'm fine with the cruelty to animals as a charge. I mean, it's one thing if the dog's coming at you. It's a totally different issue if it's just, being a dog. And I don't want to blame the victims, but overall, maybe people don't like your dog in their yard, and try to maybe be a responsible pet owner and keep your dog on your property unless the neighbor expressly permits the animal to be there. So, maybe people don't want your dog on their yard. That doesn't excuse the killing of the dog, but that's the issue. In the county I live in, St. Louis County, we have leash laws. That is, dogs outside your fenced-in yard needs to be on a leash. Why is that? Well, maybe it would prevent dogs from being shot, in neighbors' yards. That might be one thing. Does it prevent neighbor shootings and stabbings? I don't know, but I'm thinking that if the dog is on a leash and it's not going to be on the neighbor's property because the dog's on the leash. I can't stress enough, we shouldn't be killing the dogs for being, just being dogs. That's terrible. But dog owners should have dogs on a leash. Some people don't like dogs. I get it. As a real estate agent, I often go to showings where the neighbor's dog is barking the entire time and is aggressive to anyone outside. And for me, that's a reason not to buy the house. Who wants to live next door to some dog barking all day and all night and anytime you go outside, especially when you have young children? Do you really want this dog, young kids go near the fence and this dog come and bite a finger or something? It's just not worth it. This can also cause frustration with sellers who may be moving because the dog is an issue. They're moving and you're screwing up the potential for a good price on the sale because you've got your dog out there barking and being a jerk. If you do love your dog, you should try to be a good neighbor and keep the disturbances to a minimum with your neighbors. It's part of living in a neighborhood. But we talk about this. So should we expect, if we live in a neighborhood, to have a dog next to us bark all the time? Should we expect someone to be a beekeeper next door to us? Should we expect our neighbors to be screaming at us at 3 a.m? I mean, what are our expectations about living in a neighborhood? In this case, when you kill your neighbor's dog, it's going to cause issues. Why anyone thinks it's okay, I have no idea. They must not be thinking clearly or may have issues of your own. And I think more should be done about this. We should not accept dog murder in 2021. If the dog is acting aggressively, if the dog isn't acting aggressively, there's no reason why there shouldn't, there should be this dog murder. I can understand that maybe 100 years ago, the animals didn't get, weren't thought of like they are now, but people love their pets. And that doesn't make, if you're, to be a responsible pet owner, you should probably have your dog on a leash outside. You should probably try and not be, a jerk of a neighbor and have your dog just being a disaster outside. We saw that story about that exotic bird in California where that thing would just make noise all day long. And, that can get on your nerves as a neighbor, and the same thing with the barking of the dogs or an aggressive dog next door, a dog that jumps the fence. I mean, I get why people can be angry with dogs, but at the same time, if the dog's not doing anything, just mind its own business, and you shoot the dog or you go stab the dog to death. I mean, what the hell's going on? Why? How is that okay? And then I understand in Idaho, no charges for the thing, because it was on the when it was trespassing. And I can understand in Crestwood, whichever way they would go, I can understand it because the dog was on. But the one in Louisiana where the guy jumps the fence and kills the dog with a machete, that's just terrible. So I don't know anybody that's like pro dog murder. I don't think there is anybody, but maybe there are people on the internet. But, this is terrible. And, I do think we should have more laws against, cruelty to animals in this particular situation. When I lived in Detroit, we had dogs that would just show up in vacant backyards, chained to the fence, left to die. Not good. Not a good situation. Your humane societies and shelters are, bursting with all these animals. Don't have time to take care of that. We have, I've always felt like, you treat animals it's a good sign of how you treat other people. If you're a jerk to an animal, then you're probably a jerk to other people, and that's not somebody I want to hang out with. What do you think? Do you think that, do you think those people that shot those dogs when they trespassed, you think that was okay? Or are you sick to the idea that somebody would do such a thing and not get charged? Anyway, not the most happy topic today. I'm sorry, but one I felt like somebody needed to say something about, so I guess it'll be me. If you like if you like neighbor content, if you like funny real estate photos or things that happen in real estate, you should consider clicking the subscribe button on YouTube and be a part of my channel. It's free, and maybe we can learn things together. The power of the internet is unbelievable, and I'm just blown away by it. People can spot things that I have no idea about. So anyway, you can email me, media@deerwoodrealtysl.com, or you can call my voicemail at 314-274-3964 and tell me your story. Tell me about your neighbors. Tell me about, I hope nobody gets murdered in a story. It's no fun. But tell me those things. I'd love to hear them. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. And I will catch you on the next one.